Hello YouTube and welcome to the GonzoEwok channel. I am Ewok.
And I'm Gonzo.
And welcome back for some more
Geordie Space Program! Series 2!
Series 2. Fantastic stuff. Series 2 has landed to coincide with our first play on the most recent Kerbal update, which introduces such sexy things as asteroids, new components, bit of optimization, stuff like that.
This little thing as well, down at the bottom.
This little thing as well. We're mixing it up a bit this season. Firstly, we're going to have to set ourselves a new objective.
Yep.
What objective are we setting ourselves, Gonzo?
I forget. Did we even talk about setting ourselves an objective?
We did. We said the aim of Season 1 was to get to Kerbin's moon. And we did. We got to both of them, in fact. From about halfway through the season, we managed to complete that objective. So our new goal is to go interplanetary.
It's all coming back to us.
Exactly, we're going to go interplanetary. We're going to try and get to another planet. And if you watched all of last season, and you really should have done if you didn't, go back and watch the hell out of that season.
Yep, that'd be good.
You will know that I was acting as the pilot, and Gonzo was acting as my chief engineer, giving me a bit of advice on shipbuilding and that sort of thing.
Mixed results on that one.
We've decided we're going to mix it up. So, at the keyboard this episode is Gonzo.
There we go, I've taken over. I did threaten on numerous occasions during Series 1 that I was going to mutiny and take over the controls. Didn't actually think that it would come to it. But now I've got them.
Don't get too comfortable because we are going to be alternating each episode. So we're going to take turns piloting and see who gets the best results, sort of thing.
Okay, well I was just bringing up, just as a bit of a refresher there, we didn't really comment on it, but just the tracking station, just so we can see we've still got guys lost in orbit and we still want to work on bringing them home.
Absolutely. I mean, they get in the way when we're trying to plot things.
First sort of order of business, I think, is we've got 927 science. We want to start spending that and we want to start getting our hands on some good bits and pieces, I think.
Well, it's all on you, mate. You can spend it on whatever you want.
Cool. Well, for 90 science, we're going to be able to get our hands on bigger fuel tanks. We're going to get our hands on the skipper engine, the poodle engine. They're probably going to
go
be
back
handy.
to that skipper engine.
Skipper engine.
650 thrust. That pretty much doubles the thrust of the engines we've got at the moment, doesn't it? Is it even treble?
I think what would we get out of it?
They level out about 215, don't they?
Yeah, the old 45s do. So you can see, I mean, that's a much bigger engine.
It's going to fit on a much bigger fuel tank. I imagine that sort of cancels itself out in weight to thrust ratio, but it does give you the opportunity to use those big-ass fuel tanks.
It does indeed. So the other thing that we've got here as well, which you may not have seen, because you haven't really jumped into this since the update, have you?
Indeed, so we're going to have
solid fuel.
New solid fuel.
NASA-approved solid fuel.
Wow.
Massive, big, solid fuel booster. So we could maybe stick one of them on. Look at the thrust on that one as well. That would have sent the fucking red lads through the sun. Never mind out and about. So I think definitely getting my hands on these. For interplanetary, we're probably going to need heavy rocketry, possibly even super heavy rocketry.
That's fine.
Moving forward.
Click the button.
There we
Purchase.
go. 90. Okay, and what else have we got? Fuselages, adapters.
Well, we can happily afford the whole of this tier if we want to go up in a balanced way.
This is true. I mean, aerodynamics, it might help to unlock some extra stuff, but we're not really that bothered about doing single-stage orbit or space planes or...
Well, certainly not yet.
Just yet. No.
That's certainly not our focus at the moment.
Micro-landing struts. I would maybe like to unlock those just because it will let we get our hands on some other bits and pieces.
I think if we go down that route, we might end up starting to get the bits and bobs we need to do rovers.
That would be handy.
Which could be useful.
Get one of those. This will let me actually get the heavier legs and the old drogue parachute as well. That's 160, but I think that's worth doing. The heavier legs is probably going to be quite handy.
Yeah, we do break the ship quite often when we land, so...
Let's get my hands on some
well, there's legs. The rover part.
And that'll get me some rover wheels and a rover body and a little seat. So there we go. That's quite expensive, though. I think we can leave it for now. Yeah, when we get to it. We can get better ladders and we can get a barometer, which is another science experiment. You can get some good science taking those up.
To me, that seems like a good investment because that's an investment that's going to pay for itself after only a couple of missions.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to get more science from the barometer, so even if we end up failing to take off and landing in somewhere in Kerbal itself, there's still... Or Kerbin, sorry. There's still the opportunity to get some science from it.
Right, okay, and the last thing that I'm thinking, heavier rocketry. We can get the really big fuel tanks. We can get the mainsail, which is
1,500 thrust.
That's the engine I like.
Okay.
So
never used it. I'd be interested to see.
Get one of them. Very good for
Good for the first stage for atmospheric escape, I would think.
The thing to bear in mind is you'll see on the right-hand side where it says engine ISP, and then it's got those two values. The ASL is kind of at sea level, and it's the idea of how efficient it is. So you can see it's actually more efficient in a vacuum, but it's still quite efficient in sort of sea level. So when you're at atmosphere, that's something we'll need to pay close attention to when we're going interstellar, because we want something that's maybe not particularly good on the ground, but something that's going to be shit hot when we're in space, because that'll properly get we're flying along. And I think the other thing that we should probably get our hands on, maybe some bigger batteries or some nicer solar panels, just because they look nice. Just those ones we can kind of punch.
They do look nice, and if we're going to go interplanetary, we're probably going to need to build some sort of refueling station.
Yeah,
like a small space station, or maybe a big space station, who knows. And we're definitely going to need the solar panels on there just to keep that space station ticking over as it's floating around in orbit.
That makes sense.
The crappy solar panels aren't that great at the moment.
The only other thing that I'm thinking is we could maybe get our hands on a slightly nicer command pod, or like a lander can or something. Getting some of the specialised control, that might be quite nice. Getting like an SAS module so the things handle a bit better.
Well, do that now.
Cool, okay then.
Definitely do that now, and then we'll come back to things like the power and whatnot, because we can build a rocket based on the parts that we've got, and if we want to come back and tweak it a bit with a bit extra power and whatnot, that's easier to do than it is swapping out the integral rocket components.
Cool, okay then. And last thing that we're going to do, just because we can't afford it, I'm going to get the advanced construction as well, give a couple of extra adapters. They might be handy if we're going
I think that they're quite useful, because you're getting the larger decoupler there, which you're probably going to need.
Cool, okay then. So, without further ado, let's jump into the VAB and let's start designing this new bad boy rocket.
Now, I think it's probably fair to our viewers to say that we have had a little bit of a mess around since the last recording of season 1, which was a few weeks ago now.
It was, yeah.
And we are a little bit better in terms of our design.
Slightly. I don't want to kind of over-egg it too much, but we're not
going to over-egg it too much, but we're going to see some building techniques that we didn't have before.
Slightly, yeah. The things that probably, as we're talking about, you guys will already know about them, but they're still fairly newfangled to us. So we're going to have to kind of talk our way through them. Okay, then I think just because it looks a bit different, it's a bit nicer, we'll also get a little bit more control from it. We're going to take the slightly bigger command pod.
Is that not a lot heavier? Because it's designed for 3 Kerbals, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, that could be useful as a life raft if we need to rescue people.
Could do.
Okay.
The other thing to bear in mind is as well that we've obviously got way bigger engines now, so that's something else that we can think about. Other thing that we probably want to do, I mean, we need to really think about the aims and objectives of the mission that we're going to do here. So we're going to try and go interstellar, but are we just going to put something together and try and do that straight up front here? Or are we going to try maybe a little something else?
Well, if you can design a good, powerful rocket, you can adapt the basic design by adding different shit to the top of it.
Okay.
So try and just build something as powerful as you can.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Right. Okay.
I don't want to leave people waiting for ages while we try and desperately mull over exactly what we're going to put where.
Oh, so we're just going to throw something together and then bung it up into space and see what happens then. Right, okay then, I'm getting the nod there.
Why the hell not?
Right. Okay.
So you're going to make it with the big ass bits, are you?
Yeah. Well, we've got them now.
What's on the next page? Show me what's on the next page.
Oh, if we jump across them.
Because another thing to bear in mind is, because of the update, there's probably going to be some new stuff there that we haven't already bought. I don't know if is it all attached to brand new items on the tech tree?
Yeah, you've got to research them as we go along. The grabber
so they won't have been added on to the existing things.
They're
that
not
we've already
freebies.
bought.
We'll have to research them.
Damn.
Okay then, what I'm thinking is then for our maiden voyage in season 1 here, see if we can get something up in space with a bit of fuel in it, maybe a couple of docking ports or something like that, just to have like a bit of fuel in space. See if we can get something big and powerful up into.
Well, now I always put the docking port on the top, and you've already stuck a parachute there.
Right. Well,
I say always. I've successfully built a docking ship in my single player game.
Well, the thing that I'm quite liking the idea of is if we can get a few docking ports. Now it's been a while since I've done this. Have we actually unlocked docking ports?
We may not have bought docking ports.
Well, that's a bit of a pisser then. Yeah, it doesn't look as though we've actually got them. Right.
Never mind.
So, what we shall do, we'll put something like maybe the Koodle onto here.
In that case, we're going to need more science, so why don't you build something that can collect us some science?
Cool. Alright.
And you can use it as the sort of basic test to see if we can get a mega powerful rocket.
Right. Okay. Big ass decoupler on there. Plug that on. We'll also get our hands on some sciencey equipment. So now we've got the barometer. Get a couple of those. Put those on. We'll also get the thermometers and whack a couple of those on as well. Probably need batteries or solar panels or something up here as well, I guess. Tell you what, take
4 batteries.
4 batteries up there as well.
And fancy sticking a Science Junior on the top?
We could do that actually. If we log into
everything seems like so out of scale and out of proportion compared to the last rockets we were building.
It's what's kind of thrown us a little bit. I mean, mystery goos, they don't really do much, but you know, now that we're kind of moving forwards, but I think take a couple.
Oh, that's always worth taking the mystery goos.
The other thing that I'll probably do, just so you know, my concern is that this thing on coming back, this top part here will just rip off, and then
in that case, you probably want your parachutes on the module rather than
what we'll do, we'll move those up then.
But then again, it doesn't matter if it rips off as long as it survives the fall, because you can go in and recover it separately.
Yeah, but we'll play this extra safe, and we're going to put another couple of extra parachutes down on this thing as well. So we'll get a couple of those radials, and we'll throw those up on the side. There we go. That's looking alright.
That's not looking too bad.
What I'll also do, I don't think it'll hardly add anything to it, so I'm not that worried about the symmetry. But we'll get some comms as well,
in case we don't make it back.
Just on the off chance side, just so we can at least beam something back. And the other thing that we were talking about as well was solar panels.
You will need some panels, even with the 3 batteries, because I imagine this is going to drain power very quickly.
Yeah. See if we can fit those on there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Should do alright, you reckon?
It's not pretty, but it'll do.
Cool. Okay, don't need to worry about legs. This is just something we're going to send up and get a little bit of science from and come back. I'm thinking, you know, what might be a doable thing is to send this up and then see if we can maybe get into a loose orbit around the sun, do some science around the sun, and then come back.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Give it a go. We'll
we haven't got any science from around the sun, so we should get a good bonus. You won't be able to use the barometer in space.
No. Well, we can use them when we're sitting on the launch pad.
Yeah. Take some readings on the barometer.
Yeah.
I imagine you'll be able to use the thermometer in space, though.
Yeah, that's quite correct. Right. So, now I'm still a bit of a virgin when it comes to using these. I have been playing around with them a little bit. But I'm thinking this seems like a good way forwards. Take one of these bag boys. We didn't knock that mainsail, didn't we? I'm sure if we did or not.
No, I think we just looked at it and said that's down the line.
Alright.
Try having a look at the next page just in case.
It should be listed up the top, I think.
What's the 2 things at the very top, by the way? No, on the last page.
That's the massive solid fuel.
And next to
that bad boy out. And this is an all-in-one liquid engine. It's got 2 engines at the bottom. It's one of the NASA parts.
Oh yeah, it looks very similar to the sort of thing you'd see on the actual shuttle stage sort of thing.
Of course, they're quite nice. They suck at fuel. They really, really just guzzle it down, but they're pretty decent. I think we could probably look at using those at some point.
What's the thrust on those bad boys?
2,000.
2,000. Stick them on the side with some radial decouplers attached.
You reckon?
Why the hell not?
They'll burn for about 5 seconds and then we'll have to eject them.
Well, that's fine. That's 5 seconds. Don't forget the radial decouplers. We don't want to carry that shit with
us. Okay, then I'd just like to point out I was going to start looking at doing like some asparagus staging and making it all nice, and now we're suddenly just gonna...
No, I'm taking over. I'm sorry. I'm used to being at the helm.
No, you're now chief engineer. My chief engineer is telling us this is a good idea, so this is what we'll do.
I've never used them before. That's my disclaimer. So I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
Okay, what I'd reckon, we'll make sure these actually sit on and like the red layers. They look alright. I think these will be a bit smaller actually. Let's see if we can maybe
try and connect them to the top.
Yeah.
Are they liquid engines, are they?
It's liquid fuel, but what I would like to do, if possible, is see if I can get them sitting on there, and it doesn't look as though that is. Let's see if we can come right out. Because these things will just suck so much fuel. I want to see if we can...
Oh, there you go.
There we go. See if that'll work.
That's probably not going to be very stable.
Right.
Because they're just connected at the bottom, so they're going to flap around. You may want to stick some supports on there, some struts.
It's an interesting experiment in to what extent the some of the joint physics tweaking that the developers have been doing.
And they did say you would need less struts and things would be more stable, but I really don't think they'd be that stable.
Right.
Because you've got two massive fuel tanks connected by a tiny connection at the bottom.
Okay, I think that's holding in place. It's not bad. Because you know what I like to do with these, even though you usually kick up a stink. Drag some up the top there. That's quite nice. Alright. Now, this is going to go fairly fast, fairly quickly. Only other thing that I can think of, it might be worth maybe putting on...
it looks so sensible compared to the rest of our designs.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far.
Well, as in much fewer components. I mean, the red layers had about 28 layers of rockets coming out from it.
I think that's probably the way this is going to go as well, but I think just to kind of get us started, we're going to just see if we can pump this up and just kind of play around, get a bit of a feel for using the heavier engines, see how things work out. I'm just trying to think in terms of fuel cross-feed as well. What I might do is if we get some more bits of fuel, we want fuel quickly coming off these ones into here.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a very light touch approach to asparagus staging, but we'll also feed, if I can actually click on the little bastard, see if we can feed some fuel back through into here as well. Might have to move it across a touch.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit fiddly to get those actually connecting, can't it?
Oh,
cancel!
Right. There we go.
Now there is an undo button, but there we go.
Come on, please connect. You little bastard!
Try making it a bit longer.
I think it's more to do with the angles it's attached to. It needs to be slightly over here, I think.
There we go. So now fuel's going to be feeding from the outermost tanks into the innermost tanks. So by the time we eject them, they'll be empty, and the internal tank will still be full.
Yep, in theory, that's how that should kind of play out. Oh, there we go. I'm still just getting myself warmed up the controls a bit. So I don't think that's looking too bad. What I'll also do is I'm going to whack some RCS thrusters, as you see up there, and put a little bit of fuel on for those.
Yeah, fuel for them would be handy.
We have got slightly bigger monopropellant tanks as well.
Well, those smaller ones can run out quite quickly, especially when you're dealing with something quite big like this.
Right.
They look very much like the goo canisters.
They do. I think it's the same model from the looks of it. Very similar, anyway. Okay then, great.
Do you not want to put some support girders on there?
I fucking hate them because every time we use them, it just breaks everything. But okay, we'll put them on. So, as for staging, we want all of these down, going off at once. We want that one going off at once. That's the
4 on the side.
On the
which
side,
is what we want.
And I want then the upper stage firing at once.
Do you want the parachutes on a separate stage?
I think so. Bring that down like that.
Looks good to me.
Cool. Right.
And you know what? We said at the beginning of the video, what we're going to call our new shape, and we forgot to actually decide on a name. Yeah. So it's on the spot time.
Right.
Have you got something? You're deleting away frantically.
I don't. I was just getting up to a bit of a blank canvas here. Oh,
awkward moment.
I'm going to call it the Barbecue Mark 1 because in theory we're trying to send this across close to the sun, or at least into a sun orbit. We'll have to come up with some better names, I think.
Absolutely.
But
could you take Bob out, please? Bob is retired.
And we've got Mirza, the fucking traitor. Billy Bobo.
Billy Bobo's a hero. Billy Bobo has just returned from a successful mission.
We'll take Janini. There we go. Now we've really ramped up. We're threatening 3 lives here instead of just the one.
For no apparent reason, because it's not actually going to benefit us filling the cockpit. We could just send one person and one Kerbal and it would be absolutely fine.
Fuck it, that'll do. We really need to get one flag as well. I'll tell you what, because that's a new addition, we've got the NASA flag. sure NASA wouldn't want our flag, that flag anywhere near this fucking thing.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to associate themselves with us. Okay, good luck, buddy.
Cheers. Right. Well, it's wobbling slightly, but it's not particularly ridiculous.
Got the green lights on, RCS and ACS.
I'll bring this up a little bit. I'm not sure if we've even got enough fuel in this, to be honest, with the amount of powerful engines we're going to have going. I'm not going to do it all the way, just up to 80. So, season 2, go in 3, 2, 1, boom!
I thought you said it was going to go really quickly.
It will do. You can see it's picking up quite a bit of speed there.
It is, the fuel's not going as quickly. Well, it better pick up speed very quickly.
We will see. I'd just like to point out, I was thinking of just doing something a bit more subtle with the asparagus staging. And you're the one that wanted these big bastards on the bottom.
Yeah, blame me.
Maybe some solid fuels would have been good as well. Like a layer of solid fuels.
This is going to be a fairly typical start to a season of Geordie Space Programme.
We've learned, but we haven't learned that.
We've learned, but we've come in, we've tried something new, and it's going to be a flop. Around about half the fuel of the outside engine's now gone, and we are at 6,000
but we'll properly fly. We'll do alright.
One would hope so. The Kerbals themselves, with the exception of Erfrid, don't look particularly happy.
Yeah, we'll see Erfrid's on my side. Erfrid knows
Mirza and Giannini are freaking the hell out. Speed's pretty good though.
We're getting there. I'm a bit late on the old gravity turn, but we'll kick that into gear now as well.
In fact, the speed is seriously ramping up.
Yeah, see, we're getting into the thin atmosphere. There we go.
Is it perhaps going up too quickly?
Nah. 37, 38, we're doing it.
Yeah, we'll orbit with this.
Yeah, I think we're getting into orbit. Not sure if we'll be able to get out to...
It just depends how quickly the new engine sips away at that fuel. You might want to jump back because I think you're about to...
Cut that off at 82. Still got a little bit more there as well. It's not bad. Not bad. Oh, it handles a bit dodgy.
Yeah, even the monopropellant's not gonna.
It's not
shift
quite
that as much.
It's not really on its centre of mass. It'll be better once we get rid of everything else. But it's because the centre of mass on this thing's so low. We're kind of tipping the end there, so it's a little bit kind of bottom heavy. But I think we'll do all right. Okay then. Get ourselves up and around. Get ourselves onto that horizon.
Oh, well done, well done.
Yeah.
And you criticise me for
that space bar's very close to the M button, isn't it? Right. Okay. So, all right. I take back everything I've said over the previous series. Let's have a look. That's a bit high.
It is a bit much. Yeah, that'll do.
88, 27.
That'll not do.
55. 62, a little bit more. 70, it's a bit close. 74.
And that's a bit wonky, isn't it?
It is. But 31-second burn. Right. We have still got the fuel tank in the middle there.
It won't be a 31-second burn. Burn now.
Yeah, I'm burning.
Because that was based on the thrust that we did have before you threw it all the way.
Yeah, it's quite a heavy old burn. But that's a lot of fuel we've got there, and it's up in orbit. So
and there's another stage.
Yeah, when I hit space, I've obviously hit the radials off. I had a horrible gut-wrenching feeling that I'd getting rid of that.
The estimated burn time is not going down.
That's
I think basically what it's saying is that we don't have enough time because we're going to get pulled back into Kerbals' atmosphere.
Well, what we'll do is we'll burn slightly higher then.
Yeah, I'm still not feeling it, buddy.
I think we're doing it. Look, it's coming down. It's coming in the right direction. We might have to burn up. That might kind of let work do
to
a little bit.
Raise the apoapsis.
Terribly inefficient, yeah. But it might just give her a bit more of it, a bit more time. There we go. We'll see how that goes. Thing's constantly fighting to try and pull itself down a touch. Kind of starting to bottom out a bit here.
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah, that's not great, is it? Oh well. I think we could have done it that time, you know.
I would have had to start to do the level and burn very early.
Yeah.
I think you should bring this thing down
You reckon?
Yeah, the least we can do is test to see if the parachute's going to rip the science module off the top.
That's a very valid test.
Because there may be some redesign going on in this rocket, but if the top stage is okay, then we could keep that. This
is very true. Now, hang on. We'll not be able to use the barometer, but we'll use it coming back down anyway. Oh, missed a bit. Stay still, you horrible shonky bastard. Right.
You're going to skip time forward a little bit quicker?
I think I will do. I just want to see if we can get temperature. I'm not sure if we've done it up here. Give us a fucking break. There we go. It's science.
Hey! It's maxed it out though, so there's no point using the other one.
Yeah. I'm going to speed up.
And you might want to try and land on land.
You reckon? Oh, be alright. Look, you can cancel manoeuvre node off as well. You see when there's a manoeuvre node.
Oh, that's handy. So you don't have to go back into the navigation map to do it.
And if you've completed the burn and it's thereabouts, it brings up a little tick, and you can click to say you're happy with that, and it gets rid of it as well. Saves a good bit of time. Oh well.
Go on, speed up a bit.
I can't. We're in atmosphere now.
You can still speed up to 4 times.
Oh yeah, you can.
Don't want to have to do the whole thing in real time.
Just thinking, might as well just get rid of this fuel tank.
Go for it. Got the other one as well.
Get a little bit of a burst just to push it away.
You know what you should have done? Shot that fuel tank out and seen if that skipper engine with the much lighter ship could have got you in orbit. If only we thought of that.
Yeah, you see, you had us panicking and you were like, oh, I'll come back down to Earth. You see, it's hard being chief engineer. It's hard being a pilot as well with this fucking spacebar button. I notice it works when you don't want it to, but when we're actually trying to use it with the same dodgy keyboard, it doesn't like it very much.
I'm sure there's some sort of saying about a bad craftsman.
Blames a dodgy engineer. We're coming down fairly hard there. What do we reckon? Do you think? I think we're probably falling too fast, frankly, here, aren't we?
No, don't be daft. It's only 200.
Yeah, but this is heavy.
And you're not giving it a proper stress test if you're going to use the engine to slow it down.
Right. Get rid of that.
And if you're going to test it, do it properly under extreme conditions.
Let's have a look. Oh, log the pressure data. That was handy. We know what the pressure's like on a curving now.
Do an EVA.
No, that's not happening. We're not killing anybody just yet. Not for like a failed mission. Right, fingers crossed this works.
Fingers crossed
well.
it doesn't rip the Science Junior off. We'll sharp see. Nope, it's fine.
Nice. You see that nice big chute above as well?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Aye, it's doing the trick nicely. Don't think we'll get anything from this. Oh, actually,
really? I wonder if it's to reset our science data somehow.
Oh, it's given we're like a knock-off. Maybe we just haven't done it very much. You can see the goo canisters aren't really doing much there either. I think is that the one that we used? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to nip over to the other side. Hey!
We actually got a little bit of...
Yeah, a little bit of science. It'll help.
Crew report. A little bit extra there as well.
Now that the parachutes have deployed, you can skip forward, and it shouldn't screw anything up.
Should we see if Janini wants to climb out and do an AVA? I've changed my mind.
You've changed your mind? Well, there's a ladder on it, so hopefully it'll be a little more sturdy.
Yeah, see, that's not bad.
You see, that was totally worth it.
There we go. Alright, we'll speed that one up then.
And watch it explode as it hits the water.
And just slow it down just to bring it in nice and safe. It sits quite nice in the water.
Well, in true Geordie Space Programme fashion, that was quite a whitewash of a mission.
It was. I think it would have been alright if I hadn't hit space, you know. I think that would have done it.
I still think it needs work. But 51.1 signs. That's something.
Not too bad. Okay then. So, what do we do next?
I think we'll call it.
That was a little bit of a mini-sode, I think, more than anything. I'm not sure how long we've been doing that. Bit of a construction one, but we'll work on that a little bit more as well, I think.
We will. I'll come back next episode, get my hands on the keyboard, and show you how it's done.
Right, okay, we'll see how that goes. Now, what you'll do is I'll give you the input into what we need to do in terms of getting something that's got a bit more asparagus staging, and got a little bit more oomph to it, and I think that should get up there.
I know how to do that. I don't need your help.
Well, I'm going to take the credit for it anyway. You can take the credit for that one, that we just did, and I'll take the credit for the next one. But with that, I think we'll call this a day for the time being, and we shall see when we see you. As always, it's nice to be back, even though we haven't actually went anywhere. So thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you'd be so kind. And we shall see you in our next video. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye for now.